Yeah, it was certainly probably the worst loss I've been involved in, and I think it's worse when you think about the supporters and everyone who works at the club who you've let down. The supporters need to be aware that players playing are pulling on the jumper with pride, and I don't think we would have done anything last night to prove that. Without going through any obvious review yet, it was clear that Essendon just outworked us. In every part of the ground. I think when it was a 1-on-1 or a 2-on-2 in a critical part of the game, they won probably 90% of those. So I think in the end it just came down to work rate and effort. Yeah, it shouldn't be. I think we've got strong enough players playing that should be able to stand up and just take the sting out of those games, because it has been a constant. Probably the last 3 weeks we've let teams get a bit of a run on. So I think that's up to leaders to stand up and take the sting out of games and try and wrestle that momentum back. Certainly not how it's being implemented. I think the problem's with the execution. We've got full trust and faith in the game plan. It's just that we're not carrying it out for long enough during games. I think when we've done it in the first 2 weeks, there's stages where we did do it and it was really successful. It's just a problem in those first 2 games for not doing it for 4 quarters, and then for last night for not doing it for long enough at all. Yeah, look, it's not an uncommon thing either. Most weeks we'll speak as a playing group about how the game went, and I won't go into too many specifics, but it was about what I mentioned earlier about being able to be confident we're running out with a team that's pulling on the jumper to support our members and supporters, because they're the people we let down the most last night. The leaders will run that meeting, and it's an honest conversation with all the players. And I think if you can't give feedback to each other in an honest way, then there's no way you can do it on the ground either, and that usually leads to poor performances. So it's just about giving that honest feedback to each other and making sure those sort of things don't repeat themselves. Yeah, look, that is the one positive to come out of the week is we play again in 6 days, so we can turn this around in the shortest possible time. Personally or as a team? Well, Mick as was mentioned, Mick brings a great defensive mindset to the team, and there's no doubt that we're a much better side than when Mick first arrived defensively, and I've got complete confidence in that. Mick can only teach us the things. It's up to us to go out there and implement them on game day, and we just haven't done that for long enough this year. But I've proven to myself and the team, I've got full confidence that when we do it, that we do it well. So it's just a matter of doing it for longer. Yeah, I think there's obvious confusion against this defensive game plan that Mick comes in. That's largely when we don't have the ball, and I'm really confident that, as I said, when we set that up properly, it really works. But when we've got the ball, we've never been told that the only place we can kick it is down the line. When we've got options inside, and we're more than willing to take that. And Mick said that since day one. And, as I said, it's up to us to do that, to take those kicks, to not blaze away down the line. That's our choices we're making. So we know that when we do take the game on, we are an attacking team, and we have been, since I got to the club. But Mick's never tried to take that away from us. No, look, it's a good question, but it doesn't, because after you're playing in the system for long enough, you soon lose track of what games you're playing and what nights you're playing. It's purely that you're 2 days out from a game or you're 2 days post. You sort of lose track of the traditional days. So we've been around long enough, and we've got a lot of staff that make sure our schedule's spot on. So no, I don't think that's an issue. Oh, look, Mick was good. He was he's always quite measured with us. But as was mentioned, he sort of left it up to us to have a chat and talk about specific things, and that we'll review the meeting, and then I'm sure we'll hear more from Mick then. Oh, look, I think our goals, since Mick here has come, was just been to improve every week and to show effort. And you can say that you're going to finish 5th and 4th, but if you go out every week and you play well and you play to the way that we expect, and you get beaten, then so be it. But as long as it's because of effort, and work rate that you're staying in games, then it's hard to really put a number on. The only expectations we have is to play finals and is to improve. Well, it was certainly not us that put the premiership favouritism tag on us. I think you guys did a good job of that. So we never certainly didn't buy into that too heavily. But I still have full confidence that we're a better team than that win. Since that win, we're obviously not executing things as we would have planned obviously, in the first 3 rounds, but we know the season's a marathon, and we're sure we can turn things around. Look, I'm not sure about line in the sand, but it's certainly, if that doesn't sting us, into changing things, quickly, then I'm not sure what will. And it'll be a pretty long year, but we're really confident that in 6 days' time we can turn things around. I think it's up to everyone. I think if we rely on one guy to do it, then we'll have the same results as we've had in the first 3 rounds, because we have been leaving it to too few and for too short a time. So we need everyone to stand up, to show that they have pride in the jumper they're pulling on, and they want to back up the supporters that are coming each week to support us. So I think it's up to everyone. Yeah, no doubt. Look, after a loss like that, you can only assume that there'll be a few changes, and from all reports, he was fantastic, so I'm sure he'll be in the mix.